How to add colour to ashes beads. Hi, I'm Nikki Lovegrove from Tree of Opals and Keepsake Supplies. Clients often bring their loved one's ashes to me in my studio in Newport, South Wales. You can also post me ash, hair or breast milk, or you can order a DIY kit. All my links are in the bio below, and I want to give a very special thank you to my client for giving permission for me to film the process with her husband Steve's ashes. The first bead I'm making is pearlescent purple with amethyst coloured crushed glass. This is the February birthstone. Carefully fill the bead mould with clear resin. Mix a little of the pearlescent purple sparkle mix with some clear resin on label backing paper to make a paste, then transfer this to the top of the bead mould. Add a tiny spoonful of cremation ashes and some of the crushed glass. Pick up the mould and use a cocktail stick to poke the colour down around the centre of the bead. I have videos showing in depth how to achieve a swirled effect of colour in a bead whilst having enough clear resin to cure. Remove the excess resin from the top of the mould before you cure it, and this will make finishing the bead so much easier later. For the second bead, fill the mould again with clear resin. This time I'm adding ashes first with a little pearlescent green. I'm not mixing the sparkle with resin first, and sometimes this can be faster, but you might find it more difficult. Try both ways. I'm also adding some opalescent coloured crushed glass. This is the October birthstone. I sell a few different kinds of opal and opalescent inclusions, so please let me know if you'd like a tutorial on using them all, and the difference in prices and the effects they have in resin. The excess resin you remove from the beads can be put in a mould and cured alongside the beads in layers. You will give this to your client free of charge as a pocket stone, or offer to set it in silver as a necklace or dangle charm for an extra charge. I prefer to do this than return a blob of resin, and you should never ever throw a client's loved one's ashes in the bin. The third bead I made using purple and white alcohol inks. I wish I'd used more because the pastel colour was disappointing. I'll be doing a video soon with bright alcohol inks, so please make sure you subscribe. Be cautious not to poke the mould or it will leave dents in your finished pieces. Cure each bead straight away under the UV lamp after you remove the excess resin. I cure for 99 seconds on a low heat, then allow them to cool before repeating again twice to make sure they're completely cured. 60-second cures under a regular UV lamp will work fine too, but I find they get a little hot and need longer to cool down in between. The fourth bead, I'm just adding some Mermaid Teal resin sparkle mix with the ashes. It's pre-mixed with resin and stored in opaque black pots to stop it curing. Always be careful to keep the lid on. To remove the bead, remove the excess resin from around the pouring spout and pour it out. This just takes a little practice, then it's super easy, but if you struggle you can use some washing up liquid, dish soap, but I've never needed to. The fifth bead is Mermaid Teal and a Gan Blue resin sparkle mixes swirled together. I think this was my favourite bead of all of them. Please remember to return all the excess resin with ashes to your client. To finish the beads, snip off the excess resin with side cutting pliers. I then like to use a carbide burr bit in a rotary tool like a Dremel to remove excess resin from the top. There's a link to the one I used in the description for sale on keepsakesupplies.com, along with everything else I'm using in this tutorial. Give them a rinse and dry them before sending a proof photo to your client. Once you know they're happy with the bead, you can add a bead core. Today I'm using a wooden doming block to stabilise the bead and using a doming punch set to flare the core. My client asked to have one of the spare beads set or finished with a core, so I'm adding cores to 2 of them here. I have other tutorials showing this in depth. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I post something new. Of all my bead cores, which is your favourite? Let me know in the comments. Now relax and do some crafting.